What's up everybody? Dan here with Dan and Sarah Makers, and we are coming back at you with another Tool Tuesday. Thanks for coming along, and today we are looking at levels, believe it or not. I have kind of an array of all sorts of levels behind me. It's part of my collection from when I first started in construction, with levels that were given to me to different types of levels I invested in as the job and money kind of dictated what quality or style of level I bought. So I think I'd break levels down into like 4 or 5 main categories. The most common would be a torpedo level, which is typically a short one. We'll look at those a little bit closer here in just a minute. Then I've got some kind of smaller 18 inch to 2 foot long levels here. We've got some different utility levels, so like string line levels and some post levels. The 4 foot level, which is a really common all around good level. And then I've got some, just kind of off the edge here, I've got some of the longer levels, which would fall more into the category of either framing up walls or quite frequently doing doors and cabinetry and things like that, where you want a real nice long straight edge that's also a level. So let's get into the first category here. For this first group of levels, let's just knock them out real quick. These are kind of the oddball levels. So they're things like string line levels, and in my case, post levels. So for string line levels, there are a couple different styles. I've got 3 styles basically that I have in my collection. I have a style where it's just 2 level lines on the vial, so it basically just reads you a true level. These are fairly nice for, I would say, something like building a fence, but that would be about it. Just kind of give you a real rough guesstimation. If you actually look at the body of these, they're all kind of deformed because they're cheap, basically. They're not a precision level by any means. But you get your string line strung and you snap it on and it just hangs there. So there's one with just 2 lines giving you true level. I've got one that also has a couple of double lines, which will give you a little bit of a degree or slope. So if you want like a 1 or 2% slope, this type of level would be good because it kind of gives you that indication either way, whether you're going uphill or downhill slightly. And then I've got another one here. This one has been knocked around in the toolbox quite a bit, so the slope is actually worn off. But this one would be level when the bubble's all the way to one side, and as you tip it, it's got incremental lines marked on it to show you a slope. So they're marked at, 1/8 inch per foot, 1/4 inch per foot, 3/8 and 1/2 inch per foot of slope. So this would be good for doing a sidewalk or a driveway or something like that, where you want enough slope for water to run off. But again, it's not a precision instrument. So those are the little string line levels. Pretty inexpensive, and they kind of give you a guess of approximately what you're doing. The next would be a post level. And these are nice. The only drawback on these, I would say, is they're bulky. They take a rubber band which goes around these 2 legs and hook onto a post, whether it's a metal fence post, a gate post, who knows what, beam column, whatever you want. They have 2 horizontal levels that show you plumb of the beam both ways, or post, and then they also have another level on this side. So this will work for both a square and a round post. Wood posts you would use the elastic band or aluminum also, I guess you'd use it on. But if you had a steel fence post, there are magnets on the inside that keep it stuck to the post, so you don't have to use a rubber band. I would recommend using the rubber band because 9 times out of 10, you bump the post a little bit harder than these magnets will hold, and your level drops on the ground, your post level. So this is a nice tool to have. A couple drawbacks: the rubber bands get lost, or they wear out, or they get hot and crack and break, or get gooey. And it also is kind of bulky. It's not a convenient shape. So that's one type of post level. Then a little bit later on, K-Pro or Capo, they came out with a post level, very similar. It's got the 3 vials. It takes an elastic band with holes in it, so you can just kind of hook them over the different legs on here so that it's tight. The elastic, obviously it wears out after a while, and this one's pretty much shot. So I would probably have to get a rubber band or something in the future. But the nice thing about this is it actually folds up and it folds flat. So if you've got a really big diameter post, it wouldn't need to be as close to a 90 degree if it's like a large round bollard or something like that. So that's a really handy one there. I like that. I've used this quite a bit. So that's a nice post level. And of course, for the odds and ends of levels, let's not forget the little giveaway free utility levels that you find at different places. This was from Home Depot. I'm not sure if they still have it, but they had a big store called Maintenance Warehouse for a while. So this is just like a little pocket clipped level aluminum thing. So you find them in pens and all sorts of weird odds and ends. So that's the other style of giveaway free utility level. Now, getting into the torpedo levels, these are the short 9-inch, typically is a real common length for a torpedo level. These are the ones that you would commonly have in your nail bags or a toolbox or something like that. So this is probably the least expensive, cheapest level I've got. It's completely plastic. It's got 3 vials, one for checking the plumb of a post, one for checking level, and then also one for doing a 45-degree angle. So as far as the precision of this, it's probably not bad. I would say with framing tolerances, allowable tolerances to code, it would get you within tolerance on windowsills and things like that. It's got no magnet, and the vials, they are a little bit loose. You can actually kind of pop them out if you really wanted to. I don't know if they put a dab of glue on there or what, but this is probably a good all-around like homeowner style of level. So very inexpensive, very lightweight. The next one, this is probably, I would say this was about the first style level that I carried ever. Yeah, this is an Empire level. Again, it's got the plumb level and 45-degree vials. This one has some aluminum on it to kind of reinforce it, and it's got a magnet on one end. It's got a V-groove so you can put it up against round objects and also kind of plumb it in. And it's got a little viewport, so when you're putting your level down on a flat surface, you can look down through the top and you can see that level bubble vial. So again, this is a pretty inexpensive one, but I carried one of those for quite a few years. This is just another one. It's a little bit, I don't know if it's beefier, but it's an I-beam construction. So basically you've got your top and bottom flange and then an aluminum fin in the middle, but they cover it with plastic. So you got your 3 vials there. This is another Empire level. This one has a few different features. It's got your 3 main vials, plumb level and 45-degree, but it's also got another vial in here that has a bunch of incremental marks on it. Again, this is like that little string line level where it will allow you to level for different slopes. This is 12 inches long, so it's a little bit longer than regular torpedo level, so it's not convenient to put in your nail bags. It doesn't bury itself in there. But it's a nice kind of a larger, small level to have. And then, of course, like I said, as job and money changed, I got into higher end torpedo levels. These are both Stabilo levels. They are basically the same model. The only difference is one has magnets in it, one does not. If you're doing wood frame carpentry, construction, things like that, I would probably recommend the one without magnets, just because these magnets are ridiculously strong and they will stick to everything that's metal, especially when you don't want it. So save a few bucks potentially if you're doing just wood construction. You don't want to constantly be wiping metal shavings off the bottom of your level to get them off the magnets. This would be the way to go. The magnetized one, of course, is really nice if you're dealing with, say, fence posts, steel stud framing, sheet metal, pole buildings, things like that where you're using sheet metal. This is a nice feature because you do have that magnet. But like I said, be aware, and you'll see on some of my longer levels, a lot of them have tape or the remains of tape on the magnetized side, because you'll get a bunch of metal shavings on there and sometimes it's hard to wipe them off. So this is a nice level. They have a lifetime guarantee, I think, on these, and they actually give you the rating on how level it is in each position of the vial. It's slightly different. Couple specialty levels. These are kind of electrician levels. This one I got out of the dumpster because somebody had dropped it and bent the leg on this. But this level has your 45, 90, 30, and 0 degree vials. So it's now got 4 at 4 different angles because those are typical offsets for conduit. So the purpose of this thumb screw on the end would be you would stick this over the edge of a piece of conduit that's coming out. You would tighten it down, and then with your bender or whatever you're doing with the conduit to do a rolling offset or whatever, you'd clamp it on there and you would adjust it until you get the correct angle. So this is a really small level. It's got multiple viewports so you can see the different vials at different angles. So that's a small little one. Typically electricians would carry something like that. And then this is another style of that. Again, it's got the 4 different vials at different angles. This one does not have a clamp on it, but it does have a couple of the like rare earth magnets embedded in it. Again, you're always having to wipe the metal shavings off. So just be aware of it. If you're gonna do like finished woodwork and you pull out your level and it's got a bunch of rusty metal filings on it and you slam it on there, you might get some staining. So those are torpedo levels. All right, that should just about do us for part 1 of this series on levels. We're looking at the little ones in this one, and we'll start looking at the bigger ones in the next one. There's a lot of information to talk about with levels, a lot of technology and different features and benefits and uses. So until next week, we'll get into the longer stuff then. But thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. We love seeing the comments. They're beneficial for everybody out there. And also, get out there and do something.